Welcome back! We have completed all we need to do here in the tombs here in the Valley of the Dark Lords, so now I believe it's time to go back to the Sith Academy and report to Master Uthar on all that we've done here. Thankfully, though, we've gotten enough things to do, and I checked in between videos, and I think, at least based on my experiments that I attempted, I think you need only 3 other things besides the Code of the Sith in order to gain prestige. So, as it turns out, we don't actually have to give him any of the artifacts that we found. We can actually sell all of them, which is good news. Because I could use the money to buy some really cool stuff before we go off to the Star Forge after all this. I must say, though, I really enjoy Korriban a lot. I really do like the contrast between it and the Jedi Academy on Dantooine. It's very well played.
Ah, what is this you bring me, Shardan?
It is none other than the sword of Ajunta Paul, Master.
Fool. All the trouble you went through for your deception, and you did not even make an effort to verify the sword's authenticity.
Master, what do you mean?
There is no place for fools amongst the Sith. Begone.
Yeah, that's why I decided to not give the right sword to Shardan, because you can get this cutscene if you give him the wrong sword, and I think it's a little bit easier than just straight up killing him in the tomb, to be honest. And thankfully you don't get any dark side points for it either, which is nice. But anyway, let's talk to Uthar.
Do not forget our agreement regarding Uthara's treachery. We shall put her in her place, should you reach the final test, that is.
Well, you might be a little bit more surprised than you think. Let's tell him about all of our exploits. First, we dealt with the renegade students.
Ah, the ones I ordered executed for their mutiny. It's done then?
Yes, they're all dead.
Indeed. We checked the caves and found only a couple of bodies. Perhaps the Shirak ate them. It is just as good, I suppose. The lesson is learned, I believe. Go now. You have done well, but you have not impressed me enough to declare you the victor. I have matters to attend to.
I've also got the rogue droid dealt with as well.
Yes, so I hear. I've had reports from some students that ventured into the tomb after you left and found the parts. Well done.
Thank you.
I am impressed. You have rid us of a potential nuisance. Go now.
And we also found Jorak Oln, the hermit.
Ah, my old master. Still, unless you bring back something of his, some writings or similar, I am unimpressed. Jorak's fate means nothing to me.
Well, we do have a tablet written by him, and actually, you can get this tablet either way. If you pass the test, he will give it to you as a reward, and if you and Mikhail decide to go for him, or if you decide to go for Mikhail and him, then you could get this off his remains after you're done with him, which is pretty cool, too.
Oh, let me see. It appears my old master was busy studying the writings in one of the tombs. How interesting. I do hope you had to pry this from his dead fingers. Regardless, you have impressed me with your worthy act. You have impressed me enough, by my estimation, to become a Sith in full. Congratulations, young one. You have bested the others quite completely. You have but one final test which you must take, and this requires us to travel to the Tomb of Naga Sadow, in the Valley of the Dark Lords. I would advise you to be rested and equipped before we leave. Return to your quarters now and seek me out in the morning. When you return, make sure that you have all you will need, for you will face your test alone. Go, and may the Force serve you well.
Alrighty. We have impressed him enough to be able to take the final test. We've gotten a level up here, but I'm not going to use it because I want to save it in case I run into trouble on the final test.
What are you doing here? Go back to Uthar and tell him you are ready to take your final test. Our moment is at hand. Go.
Alrighty. Hopefully this test won't be terribly difficult.
So then, I take it you are ready to travel to the Tomb of Naga Sadow. Your final test should not be delayed.
What is the Tomb of Naga Sadow?
It is a tomb that belonged to an ancient Sith Lord. The greatest of Korriban's Sith Lords, in fact. It is there that your test is performed.
So what is the final test, to be exact?
I will tell you the details when we are there, young one. You will, however, fight for your life. That is why I suggest you be in sufficient health.
Alrighty, I am ready to go.
Then we go now.
A day passes in preparation. Uthar then takes you and Uthura to the Sith tomb. Your companions are not permitted to join you.
Very well. We are now ready for your final test, young Sith. You have earned the right to see if you shall become one of us.
Indeed you have.
Is that a tone of mischief in your voice, dear Uthura? You should know by now that no scheme is certain.
As should you, my master. But I was only agreeing with you. Should we not get on with the test?
Yes. Yes, of course. We are in the sacred tomb of Naga Sadow, young one. The one discovered by Darth Malak and Darth Revan years ago. You are to follow in their footsteps and reach the ancient star map that lies deep within. There you will find a lightsaber, amongst other things. The lightsaber is for you, your initiation present. Return to us once you have it. For you, the test does not end there.
Be very cautious here. This tomb is like the others in this valley, and many of its old defenses remain active.
Do you understand what I have told you? Are you ready to begin?
Well, this is kind of a silly question. Let's see if he can tell us about anything we're going to face.
No, that is part of the test. Overcome the obstacles that lie ahead on your own.
Can I leave the tomb?
You cannot. No one enters and no one leaves until your test is complete.
Alright, find the star map, return with the lightsaber. I understand.
Good. Uthura and I will await your return.
Okie doke. Well, let's go ahead and move on. Got a journal entry for the Way of the Sith. Talks about the final test. Let's see what dangers await. We got raids here in this tomb. And falling rocks. Fun. Okay. We got a really tough raid here, but thankfully stasis helps with that. Good, alright. I think there's one more. Here he is. This one isn't quite as bad, though. Let's see what's through here. Acid pool. A dangerous-looking pool of acid has flooded the room. Ignore it and back away. Nothing we can do about that acid right now, but let's see if we can find something to help with that over here. Well, first let's see what's through here. We got a room, or a pathway that leads to a room over here. Computer terminal. Interesting. What's this all about? There are 3 pillars that have electronic readouts showing the energy levels of 4 systems. The controls show that these systems can be transferred to other pillars. Caution, some of the systems are very delicate and improper transfer of power can cause an electrical overload. In order to unseal the chamber, all of the following 4 systems must be transferred to the right pillar. Top system may be transferred to any pillar safely without fear of overload. Mid-upper system. This system causes an overload if transferred to a pillar with an active top system. Mid-lower system. This system may only be safely transferred to another pillar that either has no system or only the base system active. And base system, this large system may only be transferred to a blank pillar with no systems active in it, or it will cause an overload. Yeah, this is basically Towers of Hanoi. Remember, a system may be transferred to another pillar if it is the only active system on that pillar, or it is the last one listed. And it gives us the display readouts, which basically list only the left systems, since they're all there on the left pillar. And our objective is to move them to the right without, by only moving the top system from each stack, essentially. we cannot move something below something else that's on another pillar. That's basically the main rule. I didn't recognize this as Towers of Hanoi when I first played the game, just because it had been so long since I had played it, and the instructions were just so verbose and just crazy that I didn't really recognize that. So, anyway, the game does allow you to make one mistake, but if you make two, then you're pretty much dead. So, we have to move a pillar from the top. Let's go and move one to the middle. We'll have to shuffle these around, pretty much. Let's move one from the left to right. One from the middle to the right, since we can move that one on top of the second one. And let's move one from the left to the middle. Alright, so let's go ahead and move one from right to left. And now let's go ahead and move one from the right to the middle, so that way we can move the bottom one to all the way down to the right. There we go. So now we're free to move the bottom one all the way to the right side. Perfect. Alrighty, let's see here. Let's move the middle to the right side. And let's see, let's move the mid-upper one on the middle to the left. And the one on the right to the left, that will allow us to go move the mid-lower one down to the right. Great, we are pretty much almost there. Let's move the left one to the middle, the left one to the right, and finally the middle one to the right. Perfect! We got it! All power has been successfully transferred to the right-hand pillar. The room has been unsealed. We also have a skeletal remains loot spot there. More raids. Oh joy. Let's try that stasis again. Well, that didn't work. Thankfully, this is not one of the bad ones. Yeah, I think this one is. Good, okay, it worked. Whoops. This is a tough guy. There we go. That one wasn't so bad. And we have a monument to Naga Sadow here. Looks like another obelisk, and this has Naga Sadow's poison blade. That's cool. Let's get these remains. Another Ariadu strength amplifier. I like those. And let's head onward to the other side, because there was another path that we have yet to explore. So far we've been encountering challenges both mental and physical here in this tomb, which is quite nice in terms of the people who set it up. They did a pretty good job. Some remains here before this door. Med pack, droid disruptor, credits, and a data pad. Let's see what that data pad has to say. This data pad appears to be the journal of a Sith who quite obviously did not make it past this portion of his final test. Most of the journal consists of the Sith's account of gaining enough prestige with Master Uthar to take this test. Only the final entry appears to concern the test itself. It seems I need to get across the pool of acid in the central chamber if I'm to complete my test here, but that is not going to be easy. The runes name one obelisk the Pillar of Fire, while the other is the Pillar of Ice. I can only assume that one of the pillars leads to a way to remove the acid pool. Fire or ice? Wouldn't fire create toxic fumes? I'm not sure. Maybe freezing the pool would be safer. Well, I'll worry about that once I bypass the Tarentatech beasts. If I can, I suppose it's now or never. Tarentatechs. Great. Just what we needed. And unfortunately, the tomb seals up here, so you can't try to outrun them and escape and draw out one of them against the other, although I think we can still do that here. Let's try to prepare for this. Force Shield and Master Speed should do. And let's bring at least one of them out. Hopefully the other will just stay put while we do this. Okay, good. We stunned him. Perfect. That's pretty much what I wanted. Awesome. Okay, we're doing well. I think we got this guy. Awesome. Alright. Hold on, just make sure I do this again. And the other one. Okay, almost there with this one. Sweet, we got it before it came back. Awesome sauce. Now this lever, okay, I thought it opened that door, but I guess not. Maybe it unlocks this one. Alternatively, you could theoretically use stealth there and operate the lever to get past all this without even killing the Trentatex, I think. At least I believe that's possible. But unfortunately, I don't really have any stealth skill that will help with that. Looks like we got another crystal along with Shayla's journal. Shayla was the third member of the Great Hunt team. Let's see what she has to say. This datapad is the personal journal of the Jedi Shayla Nur. Her last entry is particularly compelling. I have tracked the Trentatex that ambushed us in the Shirax caves to this tomb, but even as I stand at the entrance, I know this is wrong. Dark thoughts fill my mind, hatred and vengeance. I cannot stop myself from blaming Goon Han for Duran's death. If he had not abandoned us, my love would surely have survived the Trentatex's first attack. But my hatred of Goon Han pales beside my burning desire for revenge. My blood boils to destroy the creature that ended Duran's life, no matter what the cost. I know such thoughts are of the dark side, but I cannot help them. Even the second set of tracks outside the cave cannot dissuade me from my task. 1 Trentatex, 2, 1,000. It makes no difference to me now. The only image I see is that of Duran's broken body, and only blood can cleanse it from my mind. I hope my master will forgive me for what I'm about to do. Well, unfortunately, that did not end well. Looks like we've completed the story of the Great Hunt. I think you can go back to Disra on Dantooine and tell him about all of this, if Dantooine were still around, but unfortunately we don't have any more Dantooine. Which is a real bummer. So I would have loved to have shown that, along with Kel Alguin being there, if we had been afforded that opportunity through this order, but I think this order of planets ultimately ended up being the best. At least in terms of actually getting to do all of the side quests, and in a pretty optimal route that saved quite a bit of time. Thankfully, we've got the 2 grenades that the journal mentioned, so let's use the cold grenade, because I think that statement about fire producing toxic fumes was right. The pool freezes over. It is now walkable. Good. That's what we were hoping for. Whoa. That's not cool. And we found the star map. I almost forgot we were looking for the star map. I guess I was so fixated on the test completion, but thankfully we got it, and with this star map we've now collected all 5 of them. Perfect. Looks like these various points are basically indicating where the Starforge is, which is pretty cool. Let's not forget the lightsaber while we're here, though. Whoops. That's what I meant to click on. Lightsaber. Let's go back and tell Uthar and Uthura about our success. And it looks like they're waiting there on the acid pool.
So, you return to us with the lightsaber in hand, as I knew you would.
The Force has served you well.
You took a great risk in acquiring the artifact. You used your mind and your power. No peaceful meditation, no pacifism. Sometimes you must fight in order to achieve. This gives you your passion. This makes you stronger. This is what makes you superior. That is the lesson we teach with that part of the final test. Do you understand?
So are you saying a Jedi couldn't have gotten that?
When a Jedi acts, it is with skill, true. But the Jedi teach you that your passions are counterproductive. That strength is only found in peace. Did you not feel a moment of excitement in the tomb? Did your passions not flow and make you feel stronger and more alive? What purpose would be served by restricting yourself from such? I would say only the purpose of the Jedi. Through this, they would control you and restrict your potential.
Well, the Sith are not the only ones who fight and take risks.
True, but most would say they fight only when they must, or not at all. We are the ones who know that struggle is what makes us superior.
Well, I don't really feel superior to anybody right now. I mean, it wasn't really that hard.
If you came to the Academy, you must have felt the stirrings within you that cry out for the freedom of the dark side, that cry out for release. I can only show you the path that will lead to power and superiority. You have followed it this far. You must decide if you are capable of continuing.
What if I'm not?
This is where your path ends, young one. There is no turning back once you have embarked on it.
Alright, I think I understand.
Good. The last part of your test will now commence. Here, you will learn the lesson of competition. All life must compete in order to flourish. Such is the natural way of the universe. To stand still is to know death. One must always be moving forward. So it is the same amongst the Sith. Compete or die. Mercy is irrelevant. So it behooves you in this final test to strike down one you are familiar with, for no other reason than to prove you are superior and without mercy. Normally, this would be against another student. You, however, get a special treat. You will fight Uthar here, my own apprentice.
You talk too much, old fool.
So, you know, do you? Well, it makes no difference. You have become too ambitious, Uthar. It is time for you to die.
No, it is time for you to die, Master. My pupil stands with me.
Sadly, Uthar, it is you who are mistaken. Your pupil is more ambitious than you realize. Isn't that so, young one?
Alright, we basically get a choice here about what to do, despite what we were doing earlier. Everything that we built to up to this point has an effect on the choice that we make, but we still get a choice right here, regardless of what we did. If we choose neither of them, then we would have to attack both of them at the same time, alone, which is really difficult. So I don't recommend choosing either of these options if you're playing through the game. If you choose this one, you'll get dark side points, and if you choose this one, you get light side points. If you side with Master Uthar, you get dark side points. And siding with Uthura, well, there's basically different outcomes to this depending on how much you set up the double cross earlier, but I'll explain all that here in a bit. But like I said earlier, I'm going to go ahead and side with Uthura on this one.
Do you hear that, my master? That is the sound of a new leader rising to replace you.
So the time has come, has it? I will... no. My strength leaves me.
You are weak, Uthar. And the Force has abandoned you. We have made sure of it.
Alright, well thankfully, the poison that we gave him has lowered his health to this point, which will help a lot. Oh wow, we managed to stasis him. Nice.
Uthar is finished, and a new order is brought to the Academy. Excellent. While I do like you, truly, I'm afraid I'm not the type to share power with anyone, even you.
I should have known. So you're sure there's no other way than this?
I'm sure. I told you there was no such thing as friends among the Sith, didn't I? Let's get this over with.
She sounds kind of reluctant. Let's go ahead and See what we can do here. Looks like we have no choice but to fight her.
Oh, stop. I yield. You are too strong for me. I was a fool to think otherwise. I am at your mercy.
Alright. We have a choice here about what to do. We can either decide to finish her right here, or to show her mercy, and I do want to show her mercy. You ask for mercy? You, a Sith?
I suppose I am. Something tells me that you are not like the other students. I don't know why that is. I was right the first time back at the cantina, wasn't I? There is something different about you. More so than I even suspected.
Indeed. I am Darth Revan.
I see. I should have known. Right from the beginning. But you are no longer the Dark Lord you once were, are you? You are Revan. And yet you are not. What I sense of your destiny is still unclear. So what happens now? Will you show me mercy? Will you just let me leave?
You could come with me.
That's tempting, but I don't think I could. Your path. It goes somewhere I can't follow.
Maybe you need to think about your own path.
I suppose you could be right. All the things I wanted to do, all the wrongs I wanted to right, I haven't done any of it. They just get farther and farther from my mind. All I've cared about is power and myself. This isn't the person I was.
There's still time to change that, Uthar.
You're right. Maybe what I needed most was peace after all. The Jedi tried to show me that. I don't know if I can ever go back to them, but my place isn't here. Thank you. Thank you for showing me that. You have a destiny, my friend, and I wish you well on your way to it. May the Force be with you.
I really like that cutscene a lot, and I wasn't aware of it the first time I played the game, but on a replay, I found it, and I really, really liked it a lot. If you do Korriban before Dantooine is destroyed, you can go back to Dantooine and find Uthar there in the courtyard, which is really cool. Of course, the alternative here is that you could have killed her as well. Or you could have let her continue onward and allow her to be the Master of the Sith Academy, like she wanted to be. Let's see here. I'm going to put more points into Persuade, and let's get some powers going. I'm not going to get Dominate Mind, just because that doesn't really do much good, at least in my book. But I think I'll get Force Armor, though. I think that'll be useful. I'm tempted to get the droid stuff, though. I'm going to get Force Armor, though. Alright, we are now at level 19, I think. We got one left. Only one more before we hit the level cap. Let's go ahead and head back to the academy. Because our work here is done. We have gotten the star map. We have brought back a fallen Jedi to the light. And we can now move onward. Well, almost. It looks like we got company out here.
You there. How is it that you're leaving Naga Sadow's tomb by yourself? You went in for your final test, didn't you? Where is Master Uthar?
Master Uthar is dead. I killed him.
What? You? But you aren't even a Sith yet. Surely you jest.
Surely I don't. I'm not a Sith at all, actually. Now move aside.
It's a spy! Quick, to arms!
But
Alright.
if the spy was able to kill Master Uthar...
Don't be such a coward! Kill the traitor! Do it now!
Alright. Time to face off against these guys. They're not that bad, thankfully. Alright. Credits. Grenade, just minor stuff here. Let's go back to the academy. Because our friends are waiting for us back here. We got T3 and Juhani here. And right now, we are going to be in for the biggest fight of our lives. And it's awesome. Let's use stasis field and all kinds of stuff here.
Your wish?
What?
Juhani, unfortunately, is by herself, which is going to be hard. But I think she'll do fine.
Sure.
Yes?
Perfect.
Yes?
So yes, we have to fight everybody here in the academy, which is awesome. I love this part. This is so fun. Look at all those lightsabers go. Let's see. Okay, that's just getting annoying. Let's just use stasis on these guys. Come on, seriously? There we go. Finally, okay. Let's see if there's any remains here. We need to heal up before we take care of anybody else. Whoa, Juhani is not looking good. Okay, well we can take care of this even if she falls. Whoop, did the remains just disappear? I saw it, or was that T3? It was probably T3.
Yes?
Let's take care of this guy here. Wow. She single-handedly took out all of these guys here in this room. That is amazing. Okay, let's gather up everybody. I think there are more people, though.
What?
If I'm not mistaken, there's still more people out here.
Yes?
These guys.
For the Republic!
You don't get a lot of experience for this, but it's so much fun, though. Especially after all we've been through. It just feels so great. I think this room here has people as well. Wow. Wait, did we not get that metal box? I guess we forgot the metal box. Okay, looks like all the prisoners are gone. That's good. And I don't think there's anybody in this room. Nope. Alright, let's heal Juhani here, because she needs it. She's been through a lot.
Yes?
Sure.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think we're done. I don't think there's anybody else here. Oh, wait a minute. There's the bunks. There might be people there. Yep, there's people here. Okay. I'm going to make sure this entire academy is obliterated. I think they're all back here.
Your wish?
Come on, Juhani. Man, T3 has barely gotten a scratch. I haven't had to repair him at all. how they just stand right back up after getting stasis and then force waved. Okay. I think that's it. Even if there are remains, they're just average things anyway.
Sure.
And I don't believe there's anybody here in the quarters at all. If Dustle was still here and we hadn't convinced him, and we just had left him alone back then we would have had to face off against him as well. And I think the same goes for Kel Alguin if we didn't convince him to leave. Now we could go back outside to the valley and take care of everybody there, but I'm not going to worry about that. There's really no need to do that, and you're not going to get a lot of experience for it anyway. Now this part of the game, if we had done... Oh, we still have the guards out here too. Let's see. Actually, I think it's just one guard. There we go. If you had done this planet first or third, then you would have met either Darth Bandon or Cal Nord out here. Now, the choices that you've made regarding Uthura and Uthar affect whether or not you have to fight everybody at the Academy or not. If you had agreed to poison Uthura, if you had gone with Uthar's plan and then sided with him, then you would have... What happened there? What in the world? If you had gone with Uthar's plan to poison Uthura, then he would have given you a chance for mercy at the very end, and allowed you safe passage through the Academy, with her being dead, of course. With Uthura, if you allow her to become the headmaster of the Academy, and let her go, with that ending for her in mind, then she would have allowed you safe passage as well. If you had done anything else besides these options, then you would have had to have faced off against everybody there. I wanted to stop by here on the way back because we got Dak Vesser here to talk to. I almost forgot about him.
If you must know, I intend to take the first ship off this rock. Why should that interest you? I trust you got whatever you wanted from the tombs?
How do you know Juhani?
Why don't you ask her?
Because I asked you.
She and I were students together at Dantooine for a time. We were close, and we shared doubts about the Jedi's ways. I left for the Sith because I thought it would be better here. It looks like Juhani changed her mind and stayed with the Jedi after all. Your doing, maybe? Anyway, I'm done with the Jedi, the Sith, and with her. Just leave me alone.
Now, you can choose to kill him on the spot if you want to, and he has a crystal that nobody else in the game has, but it's not the best one. So I'm not going to actually do that, like I did with Mikkel. So why are you leaving exactly?
I already said, didn't I? I don't want to still be around when they start asking questions about you.
But where will you go?
Why do you care? I've no intention of opposing you.
Perhaps you could go back to the Jedi. I did.
I don't know. I'll think about it. Just leave me alone, Juhani.
Alright.
Then leave me be.
Okay, I'll leave him be. We can talk to Juhani about this.
My Cathar bloods.
Whoops, I guess that's the only thing we can talk to her about. And we don't need any more of the premium items from Mika's shop, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave Korriban. We won't have to come back here later as far as I know, so we're pretty much done here. I'm gonna just slow down here just in case Zor decides to meet us here near the Hawk again. Because that will happen at some point, but it looks like it's not going to be today. Alright, well at this point in the game, we've reached the point where we can go to the Star Forge, now that we've got all 5 pieces of the star map. However, once you go there, you cannot return. There is no turning back at that point. And it's for this reason that I've decided to dedicate the next few videos to wrapping up the loose ends. On the next one, I'm going to be talking to everybody and shopping and selling stuff. But in a video after that, I'm going to wrap up all the remaining side quests that we still have left, including the character side quests, and these things on Tatooine, and also the one on Kashyyyk that I forgot while we were there. Unfortunately, I forgot about this. Aiding Lashao is not a completed quest unless you actually tell Master Uthar about it, which unfortunately it's just going to have to stay there since we can't complete it now. So I apologize for that. I was really hoping that at the end of the game we could have a nice clear quest list, but it looks like that's going to have to stay there, at least for now. Well, we'll go ahead and get started with all of that in the next video.